Hi all, let's try an experimental 5 minute game. I've got a very low rating on 5 minutes and there's a particular reason for that. I can actually play better, I think, than that rating. Okay, so here I'm in trouble already because of D5 equalising. A lot more time to find resources. 5 minute obviously. So I'm looking at D5, castles, maybe sacking the e-pawn. Can I just sack actually C3 here to get dark square bishop compensation? You dare not take that pawn surely. If he castles, maybe knight D5, knight D, ED, with an interesting position, because I'll be stopping a bit his queen side bishop from developing. Also liberating my bishop now on his H7 square. So maybe this is interesting. If castles queen H5, G6, queen H6, maybe then bishop G5 to F6 if I'm very lucky. I'll try that, but he has got actually F6 here, or even F5. Okay, so let's try and keep something going here with C4. So if this knight's not great, if I play F4, he might be playing E4, and then I got bishop E2 and then bishop E3 to D4, so that might be okay. The knight's actually doing something there, stopping the bishop at the moment, coming to C5, but I might also have knight D4 to E6, but that would allow bishop C5. So maybe bishop E3 first, followed.
Check.
I have to do something about the check. So he stopped my bishop E3 unless I got queen H3 and bishop E3 to try and get the bishop on the diagonal. I might also have the idea of G4. G takes F5. I've got some time to think here. So knight D4 also is worth considering. It's going to take more time to get his bishop back there. But what will I actually be threatening? If knight D3, he's hitting my knight immediately. Then knight E6, but then he's got knight F2s. Starts to get a bit messy. What about just pinning his knight, bishop E3? Seems simple. Pin his knight also without threatening bishop D4. So if I get in bishop D4 and force rook F7, then maybe G4, rook G1 is going to be dangerous. Now I want to embarrass that bishop on B4. If I play knight D4, I'll be able to reserve A3. So G4 is an interesting resource here, if I can get it in this position. Do I want to cover now that B3 pawn? I think I do. So it's, bishop C3, I'm a bit lucky that it's not losing a piece. I think there's an interesting film at the moment on TV. Oops. So there's a TV program in the background. It's not a porn film or anything. Just thought I'd make that clear. If you hear something there which is odd. So bishop takes D4. Oh, okay. This needs some calculation. G4. So Kotov's not Kotov's system. I don't like Kotov's system. Let's just look for resources here. Is G4 an interesting resource to try and peel open the G file? Alternatively, knight takes F5 does nothing. Either rook takes or G takes. Doesn't really want to give up that dark squared bishop. But if G4 hasn't he just got FG, but then F5, and my rook's getting active, with the idea maybe of knight E6, that looks actually quite tasty. If I'm opening up some more lines, so I think I'm tempted to go for that, unless there's anything more clear cut here. G4. Or do I want to play bishop takes D3? Yeah. Alright, G4. The idea of trying to blast him with F5. But then after FG, you can just F5, bishop D4, bishop D4. He's got bishop takes F5. That's not that convincing. But then I might have bishop takes D3, takes, and rook AE1. So, I don't know, it might be hard for him to stop the increase in pressure and coordination if I get some pieces to attack with my queen. On the other hand, yeah, I'm not really convinced by f5 here. But is it worth positional sack just to get the dark squared bishop? Maybe. Anything better? Bishop takes d3. Ed, knight e6. Bishop takes e6. D takes e6, and I just lose the bishop on e3. What about just rook g1? Rook g1 to just slowly try and play bishop takes g4. I think that's most tempting. Except my f4 is dropping off. Bishop takes, knight takes f4. Oh dear, this is not good. I'll play f5. Okay, he's going to try and win material now. He's going to play bishop takes d4. So I'll try and get this dark square bishop. Try and get some compensation. If he's going to play bishop d4, bishop d4, bishop f5, bishop d3, ed, rook a1. Actually, bishop e4 check. His queen's out of play, basically. He's also got queen g7. Ouch. Queen g7. Okay, so queen g7 hitting d4.
Check.
Okay, why can't I just take on g6? Maybe this isn't so bad. Because temporarily his bishop's still at home. So if I can play rook f8, followed by knight e6 and bishop c5, that might be tasty. Also coming to a minute and a half each now. Alright, so knight e6 and bishop takes c5 is an idea.
Check.
Of sorts. Not a very good idea probably, because he has got knight takes c5 there. But then I've got bishop takes g4 at the end of all this. But then I got, okay, knight c5, rook d1, and I'm in trouble here. Oh dear, this hasn't gone all to plan.
Check.
Okay, although his king seems to be a bit precariously placed. Cutting off his knight at the moment. Let's go to e6. Do I want to play b4 and c5 to try and exploit the pin on d8? b4 and c5. Also maybe the idea of h4. Try and get this past the h-pawn going. At the moment, what is he threatening? Knight f4 winning the rook. Got to do something about that. So king g3 maybe. Maybe rook g5 is a safer proposition to try and win g6. My bishop's going to hold up the e-pawn for a little bit. He's also getting short of time. So, mind you, rook d1 and I can still play c for c5. Unless I'm going to get my king and rook fault. But yeah, c5, but he's got d5. So this isn't brilliant. But I'm actually threatening rook e1 here, with trying to pick up his knight. So he's got to be a bit careful. I think h4 to try and put some latent pressure on. I'm going to sort of target this g6 pawn. But he's obviously better here. What about b4 as well? He's got knight f2 but then rook e1. But he's only got 17 seconds. This isn't really that long a game to be messing around too much. Right, it gets a bit wild now. Okay, rook a6. Can I play finally rook g5 or not? Okay, my bishop's covering e2 at the moment. He's going to run out of time. Or is he going to just win with that pawn? This doesn't look brilliant, actually. Got to be said.
Black forfeits on time.
I'm a bit lucky there. But yeah, that was... You can see that more analysis has been put into this game, less intuition. But yeah, there was a lot more analysis there. I hope that was instructive in some way. It's still a very short game, and you have to keep on the clock in 5-minute chess. Hope you enjoyed that. Please leave any comments on YouTube. Thanks very much.